Bob Schneider, live at the Bing Lounge. Hi, Bob.
Hi.
It's so great to see you again. We saw you last, I think, at the Jingle Bell Jam. And since then, have you been touring like you do? You go around the country and kind of work nonstop.
I do. I like to play a lot, and so I do play a lot of gigs every year. Most of them are in Texas, but I try to get out at least twice a year and tour the whole country.
I saw that you were named the hardest working musician in Austin, and does that mean you just work 2 days a week?
It's actually just, it's the working is not part of that sentence, it's the hardest music.
Your newest album is called Burden of Proof, and I wonder if you've been in trouble since we last saw you.
No.
Where does that title come from then?
Right. No. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where that came from. Where that I just thought it sounded interesting, and I like titles where you know when you hear them, you start imagining what it means and stuff. So
for me, that's CSI or The Good Wife.
Yeah.
For you?
I have never watched either of those shows, so for me, it's
we have nothing in common. Hey, really? What I love about you is when I listen to that music, I'm thinking, who else in the world except Bob Schneider can say a line like, "I wish your mom was ugly," and get away with it? So do you ever run these lines past like girlfriends or something like that?
No, I don't usually have girlfriends to run them by. I'd probably be more successful if I did, but no, I end up putting stuff like that in songs because I think it's interesting, and I don't know, like if they weren't like a lot of my songs have like weird quirky parts to them, but that's what makes them interesting to me. And,
yeah, and interesting to us as well.
Thanks.
You're at the Aladdin tonight. Just want to remind people. I've been so fascinated by your history, and you grew up with a dad who was an opera singer, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so I remember interviewing you several years back, and you said, I don't really have that big of an influence in my music with my opera. It seemed as at that time that you almost disdained it just a bit. But I was listening to your album, and now there's a huge string section coming back in, and I'm thinking, aha, Bob is finally reclaiming his past.
Well, yeah, I mean, I did have to sit through a lot of orchestral opera things when I was a kid, and I really did suffer some sort of post-traumatic stress from that. But I love what you can do with strings. You can really bring a lot of emotion to a song just by adding strings to them. So that was the plan on this record, was to make it sort of emotionally compelling, I guess.
Have you ever tried opera yourself, to sing in that way?
No.
And you won't?
Well, I mean, I do it as a joke sometimes.
Could we be gifted with that joke?
Oh, limoni! You know, that kind of...
Thank you, Bob.
You can do... that was a made-up language, by the way. I don't know. I was like part Italian, part...
You are now 47 years old.
Oh, thanks for telling everybody.
Listen,
I was keeping that a secret.
Listen, I think that's a gift. And your music seems to have reached a depth, and I saw some reviewers say that you're actually growing up. I don't ever think Bob Schneider will ever be blamed for growing up. How do you put the wisdom and the experience that you've brought with your career, where do you wrap it in terms of how you define yourself these days?
I don't really think about it at all. I mean, I've definitely grown up a lot since I've had a kid. I've got a 7-year-old, so that changed a lot of things. I kind of had to get it together as a person, and I think having kids will make you grow up. I mean, you can fight it. You can be an absent dad or a parent or something, but I think if you're going to be there, you will grow up. It forces you to do that.
It's a beautiful album called Burden of Proof. Bob Schneider tonight at the Aladdin. Let's hear a little more music. Thank you, Bob.